Cree means hello. So I say Tansy.
Fancy.
There you go. You're Cree people now. I'm a grand elder in Indian country. I got a heavy responsibility in my hands to be an elder. I'm a young man, I'm only 51, but I've also been already honored with the title of elder and grand elder of in the Indian country. I'm supposed to use it wherever I go, but I don't use it. To me, it doesn't really matter what title I hold. As a man, as a young boy growing up in places that you guys will never hear, will never see, never experience, I had to go through 24/7, 365 days a year. I'm 51 now. Half of my life I spend in conditions that you can only dream of, in terms of the struggles that we had to go through as Indigenous people in a reservation. Back in the 70s, we had a magnificent agricultural land where my family grew up. Around 1976, hydroelectric project was going to come and dam upstream of our river. When we were forced out of our land to be placed in a higher ground. So that happened. Now, prior to the waters, prior to the hydroelectric project, our waters you could see right through. And I can't even see nothing. It's all mud. Even worse than this color here. Can't see through it, can't swim in it, can't drink it, can't cook with it. It has to be purified, it has to be chemicalized in order for us to even be able to cook with it, or bath with it, or drink it. Not far from where we are, we have mines all over. If you took a good aerial view of these mines, you'd see all the destruction on the land. The sulfur, the grease, toxic on the rivers, in our waters. There's a lot of devastation. For you guys that don't know me, I'm the guy that fasted with Chief Teresa Spence at the island. 43 days I fasted with her, Victoria Island. And I just came through another fast not too long ago, a few weeks ago. With no water, no food. Now it's so not right. So pathetic that we as Indigenous people have to go on a hunger strike just to have our voices heard, just to have a chance to meet with the premiers or people that are there creating all this shit, destruction of our land. Most of the multinationals, corporations, mines, industries out there are being done on our traditional territories. 95% of the extraction, exploitation, destruction is happening on our land. Kingston is built on traditional land. I know landline is. We as people, all of us, every single one of us out here, out there, everywhere, have a duty, have a responsibility, have an obligation to look after our affairs. in relation to how we interact with each other as humans, in relation to how we look after our land, our resources, our waters. I was a politician about 34 years, doing all I could to preserve what I could, meeting with the big shots out there, trying to ensure that there's sustainability with our resources, our lands, our waters. But none of them ever listened. I just came back from a meeting with Mulcair last week. Supposed to be the government in waiting, the Prime Minister in waiting, so I go around meeting with the big shots. I don't go on the bottom, I go right to the jugular. That's what I do. I was in Montreal February 24th to meet with the Green Party. I wanted to see their charter, their constitution, their policies with respect to Indigenous people. Sure, they had some great ideas, but I challenged them to make resolutions as to what they're going to do if they ever come to power. And I was the only Indian in that convention. There was no other Indian there but me. But I challenged them. So I got them to make 2 resolutions. I wasn't going to leave until they made resolutions. Mulcair, I met her last week. He said his priority is to have this, what what we've been aspiring for all these 500 years, this nation-to-nation relationship that we've been trying to get with the government of Canada. He had told me that I was going to be proud when he delivered his speech. It's going to be one of the proudest moments. I was about three tables down from his left while he was making a speech. I listened to him. I waited. He was speaking. I waited. Speaking. Waited. Pretty soon it was over. I'm still waiting where this proudest moment I'm going to have with this speech. I didn't get it. In our private conversation, he had assured me that he was going to mention something about having a nation-to-nation relationship with the First Nations. I didn't get it. My people didn't get it. My people didn't hear it. I still didn't hear it. He did mention an observation that for Indigenous people should not live in third world conditions in Canada. He did mention that. I give him credit for that, but that's an observation. Now that he knows there's something wrong with First Nations, there's no concrete action plan as to what he's going to do about this observation. I met with Indian Affairs Minister 3 weeks ago, Paul Curry, one-on-one, to discuss the contribution funding agreements that we get as First Nations people. You see, these last 3-4 months we've been fighting, protesting about Bill C-38 and 45. And how it's encroaching on a treaty relationship we have with the Crown. Because that's where it's forced from. The water, the land and resources. That's where treaties are formed from. So I met with them to discuss these insertions on this contribution agreement that First Nations were forced to sign. Within those agreements, you have those C-30 and 45 in there in an agreement. And First Nations are told you have to sign this. You have to agree to this. If you don't agree to this, you're not going to get your money this year. We're going to take our monies. You don't get nothing out of us until you sign this agreement. Now that's extortion. That's blackmail. These are the things the government doesn't tell you. They don't tell you this. We used to have what she called a First Nation Lands and Management Act. prior to Bill C-38, prior to Bill C-45, with respect to land, waters, and resources. Bill C-45 took care of that. They repealed the whole Landsman Act out of our hands. In that act, in Section 5, B and C, it stated that we had lands reserved for specific use for the said Indians, and some would benefit us. Just us, nobody else. That's been repealed. In that same act, in Section 18, it says that First Nations had the power and control over land resources and waters. That's been repealed. Within that same act, in Section 20, it states that First Nations had the power, the laws, to supersede any other laws with respect to land resources and waters, including federal laws, provincial laws. That's been repealed. We are now landless, resourceless, waterless in our own country. And this is what the government says it's good for us. It's good for the economy. We've been trying all our lives to try to get across the message to the Crown, to the government of Canada, that we are the experienced people of how to get reciprocity, resolution, resolve in what goes on in our daily lives. Every time we meet them, they say, "No, it's okay. We know what's good for you. We know what you need. We'll get it for you. Don't come and tell us what you need. We know what's good for you." Little do you know that these guys never come to our reservations to know exactly what the hell we need. They make their decisions all the way from Ottawa, and they say they know what's good for us. We've been shoved so freaking far into the dirt in the reservation, where they thought we could die off, we could be killed off and never make a sound. We're resilient people. We're still here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still traveling. I'm still crisscrossing the country, all over the place, trying to get this message across to people like you that care for the land, the resources, the waters. Because this is not a First Nation issue. It's an issue for all of us Canadians, all of us in this turtle island. We already have enjoyed our resources, our lands, our waters, us that are already getting old. What are we going to leave with this girl? That boy. That kid over there. This little one. What are we going to leave with them? I challenge you guys. I'm always challenging people. I like challenging people. I go around crisscrossing the country. I'll be heading to South Africa in a week or two. I travel all over the place, challenging everybody. We are all brothers and sisters. That's how I always look at my life growing up, from my mother's dad, my dad's grandparents' teachings. Never to look at anybody based on color. Never to have prejudice. Never set boundaries. Because the more boundaries you set, the chances of you really looking at seeing who's standing in front of you gets blurred. If you see color in you, it inhibits you from having a true relationship with the person standing beside you, in front of you, behind you, or around you. When you take it off, you see the true beauty of the person. If you have prejudices, it inhibits you from having a very personal relationship with your sister and your brother, no matter what race they are. You know that we need to take these off. We need to ensure that these things come off. This is why we are where we are. How many of you guys ever really say hello to your neighbor beside you on your left, the house, on your right? How many of you guys ever stop to say hello, how are you? Is there anything I can do for you? across the street. Behind your house. How many of you guys greet each other as you're coming this way? You look the other way as the person comes to you. You look the other way until the person passes. This is what we've become. This association. We dissociate ourselves from having a good relationship with one another, to help each other, to support each other in everything that we aspire. We need to do this. I see that guy wearing that medicine wheel button over there. That's how it is supposed to be. It's a circle. Everybody belongs equal share. As you can see, it's divided equally. Nobody's got more. You don't see red there more than a yellow or a white or a black. Nobody should be inferior, nobody should be superior. Nobody inside the circle, nobody's outside the circle. We're all part of that circle. That's all we are. As much as you need the tree, you need the tree too. The tree gives us oxygen as we give it carbon dioxide. If you look at your DNA, every molecular structure out there is in you. We are all brothers and sisters, even to the birds, to the trees, to the plants, to the insects. So we have this duty, this obligation, this responsibility to always ensure that we care for everything out there, Mother Earth especially. We are all born out of mothers. Would you want your mother to be disrespected, to be dishonored, to be raped, to be molested, to be stripped of his clothing? Or would you do something about it to ensure that she gets the proper respect and honor that she deserves? She gave you love, she gave you medicine. When you were sick, she was there for you. Well, Mother Earth did that, the same thing to you. That's where all you get your food from, your clothing you wear. Everything that you have in you comes from Mother Earth. She gave you the food, she gave you the medicine, she gave you the water, she gives you the air. So we have this duty to protect Mother Earth with all that we have, to give her the proper respect. Doesn't matter where we come from, how old you are, how big you are, how small you are, what background you have, where you're heading, where you've been. We're still brother and sister at the end of the day. And always will be. But it all depends on how you look at it from your own perspective. So I challenge you guys to start taking those beams out of your eyes and start seeing the true brother, the true sister in front of you, behind you, beside you. And I hope that you can pass this message to anybody out there, everybody out there, that we create a chain right across this land that'll be unbroken. Bring all the races together and fight this monster that's before us. Because that's what it is. A monster ready to take our waters away from us, our lands and our resources. So I challenge you, the young and the old, do all you can. Let the governments, let Kingston know your feelings of the destructions of Line and everything out there. Bill C-38 gives arbitrary powers to all the Canadian ministers to do as they wish. If you think you have property, if you think you have private property in your land, good luck. The government can come and extract and destroy your land anytime it wants to, and it doesn't have. You don't give a shit what you say. Because the Canadian ministers have the power now. They don't have to consult with you. They don't have to inform you. You have no rights right now. If you think you live in a democratic society, good luck in trying to convince that of the government right now. It has taken your right to freedom of expression, freedom of assembly. So look what happened in Montreal. You're trying to protest. The police were out there in their asses before they even start. There's no such thing as freedom anymore in Canada. You can't decide anymore because the power is relationships with the government, according to Bill C-38. We live in a what you call apartheid situation already. Because apartheid means separation. We are now in an apartheid country. Separated from the government, the people. They have the power. Who gives a shit about us? So we have to do what we can to get that power back. But use that power in a good way. To sustain life. To preserve life. To put life first than anything else. Never put anything ahead of money. Does anybody have a coin? Can I borrow a coin?
Here's a quarter. Got it? Sure.
Come here, man.
That's Ruby. You want her to come up there?
Yes. I'm not Ruby. Now let me show you something. Hold it. Hold it like this. Hold it. No. Demonstration what the government of Canada is doing. See this money? The government of Canada now puts their faith on this money. This is what rules us right now. Do you forget what's the person holding the money? What would you rather save? Look at it. What would you rather save and put first ahead of your concerns? The money or the life holding the money? Who would you protect? What would you preserve? What would come first?
The child.
This is worth more to preserve. Because this is life. This is life. This is where our faith, our trust, our fight should be. To protect this girl and the girl's interest. That she may have a life. Not this.
We're here.
Thank you.
We're here.
That's what I mean by having that greater responsibility, that commitment that we need to forge ahead to ensure that we protect her, that she has sustainability, that her children will have the same thing that we enjoy right now. We're going to be dying soon. We enjoyed the resources, the land, and the waters already. But we have to leave something for the generation coming. We have to. It's our duty. It's our obligation. It's our responsibility. As people, as life. This is what we were put on this world to do, this earth. To sustain ourselves, not destroy ourselves. Once the waters are gone, there's no life. We only have about less than 1% of clean water out there in this world. There's a lot of water out there, but there's only about 1% or even less that is drinkable. Even that now is not even clear. Most of it you have to chlorinize it, clarify it, drink it. So you have to do what you can to protect it. The resources. When you cut the tree down, 90% of everything that's around it dies. A tree is a very, very important life. It gives a lot of life to everything around it. You can test one of these days. If you see one tree in the middle of nowhere, cut it down. Within a matter of days, weeks, everything around it's going to die. We just came from Montreal, protesting against the logging industry. We have to do all we can, however we can. Get off our butts, our TVs, our couches, our complacency, and do what we can to preserve what we can. I'll leave with this. This teaching. There once lived a wise medicine man that could cure all that knew all, that had the power to bring resolution to wherever there's chaos. He was a powerful medicine man, but he was blind, but he still had the power. There was these two boys that always try to ridicule him and try to prove him wrong. Do what they can to destroy the credibility, the reputation of this blind medicine man that could do wonders. They did everything they could. We are like that once in a while. A lot of us are like that. We go around trying to destroy people's reputations. We call people down, we gossip. As soon as somebody wants to rise, see somebody get ahead, we do what we can to destroy that person. It's in us. I don't know why we do that. But these two boys anyway did all they could. So one day they decided to devise the plan of how to prove that this guy was a fake. They went in the woods and got a bird. And they went to the medicine man. And the medicine man could hear them coming from a far distance. And he said, "Hey boys, what's he want?" He said, "Aha! See, I know you were blind. There's nobody here. There's nobody around now to see. Now you're telling us that's between us. You can see." He said, "No, I just learned to use my other senses. I knew you were coming. We're coming anyway. What do you guys want?" So they went inside there and said, "Well, we have something behind our backs. What is it?" "It's a bird." "Good guess," they said. And the last question they asked the old man was this: "Well, is it alive or dead?" And the medicine man said, "Well, the boys, that's entirely in your hands. See, you hold the key in your hand, in your power, to give life or death. Every day. Every day you have that power. It's in your hand. You can give life, or you can give death. How are you going to use it today? How are you going to use it tomorrow? Right now you've been given a gift of knowledge of the destruction Line is going to do, Enbridge. Now you got that in your hand. Are you going to go home, put it away, and that's it? Or are you going to take it and share it with people, so that people like these two children can have a future instead of sitting around here? That's what I mean about responsibility, duty, and obligation. You all laughed at it. So I challenge you today, what are you going to do about that knowledge you have, that power to give life or give death? A lot of people right now out there are walking around waiting for a reason why to kill themselves. Would you like to be the last person to turn that person down? The next thing you know, turn the tube on, you hear that person committed suicide. Puts you a lot of questions will come in your mind. Oh, I should have did this, I should have did that. Sometimes all a person needs is a smile. All it's, how are you? That's all somebody needs. See? Smile right away. See how powerful can smile can do? A little wave. Let's do that. Let's not look away when we meet people. Let's acknowledge each other. How are you, sir? Good. Simple. How hard was that? Nothing hard about that. No rocket science. But a lot of us don't do that. usually say we don't have time. You're right, we don't have time. So, I'll leave you with that. Thank you very much.